What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be talking about another beautiful variety of Tradescantia. This is called as Tradescantia Sillamontana. It's an absolutely beautiful Tradescantia, very unique and unusual looking Tradescantia, because if I'm going to take a closer view of the leaves, you can see they have this fuzzy leaves, more like a cobweb on the leaves, as well as on the abaxil of the leaves. You can see they have this cobweb kind of a texture. This is also called as the white velvet, which is the common name. It tends to flower during the day. By evening the flowers tend to close. I will put up the video clip of the flower that had bloomed today morning. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't expect it to get this color because the overall plant does not have really striking colors. It's more on the olive green color, and then this very bright pink flower looked absolutely stunning. So they last for half a day, probably only a morning flowering plant. So overall it's a very easy, low maintenance plant, just like any other Tradescantia. This one will also start to trail, as you can see, so it can work really well in a hanging basket or if you have a vertical garden. So now let's start with the sunlight. Some varieties of Tradescantias love morning direct sunlight. Well, this one will do well in indirect bright light. Even a little bit less light is absolutely fine, because the rule, you check the abaxil, you see the abaxil is darker in color. This indicates that the plant will do well in a little bit less light, but of course not in a dark spot. It requires indirect bright light. My plant gets a good amount of indirect bright light. Early morning before 9 a.m. mild direct sunlight, it tends to get a little bit of that, but after that the entire day it is in indirect bright light. Talking about the soil mix, I have used the same soil mix which I use for all of my plants, which is a mix of coco peat, garden soil and sand. Coco peat is going to maintain that slight amount of moisture because I'm from a very dry environment. Though this plant can handle a little bit of underwatering, but please do not do it excessive, otherwise the leaves will start to dry. So the coco peat is going to give that slight amount of moisture, garden soil will give the basic nutrients, and sand is going to make the soil mix well draining. They prefer loose, porous, well draining soil mix, which tends to retain a little bit of moisture. They are not very heavy feeding plants, so you can go with any liquid based fertilizer or vermicompost or compost, any one of them. You can use that. Once in 2 months is more than enough. As I said, they are not heavy feeders. Most of the Tradescantias are not heavy feeding plants. They will do well in less nutrient soil as well. Talking about propagation, very simple. Just do a stem cutting, any part of the stem. You can just do a cutting and you can put it into the soil, or you can put it into the water. I would say the best method is just put it into the soil. They will root within a week or maybe 2 weeks, depending upon your environment and climate. Watering, whenever you see around 2 to 3 inches of the upper layer of soil is dry, go ahead and do a complete watering until the water starts to pass through the drain hole. You can even grow this indoor as well, closer to the windowsill. It will work out really well. Even outdoor, if you're growing it, you can keep it beneath other large plants so that it gets indirect bright light or filtered light or dappled sunlight. Do not give direct sunlight, especially afternoon, otherwise the leaves will get burnt. It's a very easy, low maintenance plant, will work really well in a vertical garden or in a hanging basket. But of course, the flowers are not the main attraction because they don't last for a very long time. I think it's all because of this absolutely stunning foliage that they have. They also come in a variegated form. This is a regular form. They also come in a variegated form. So this plant, I had got it as a gift, so it worked out really well. It was just 2 or 3 stems, but now it has started to put out a lot of new growth, so I'm very happy with it. Probably I'll do some more cuttings and put it in this part because this is a little bit open area, so I'm going to put some cuttings in that, and it is very easy. I think I'll probably show it to you right away. So I'm just going to take a stem. You can very easily break it with your hand. You don't need a blade, knife or a scissor, and then just push it into the soil. That's about it, and in a couple of weeks it will start to root and it will start to grow. It will do well in temperatures that are between 15 degrees Celsius all the way up to 35-36 degrees Celsius. Humidity is not much of an issue. They will do well in average humidity as well. Anywhere around 50%, 60% is going to do quite well with this. So that's about it, guys. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep planting.